This is episode 69 of the SteadyTrade podcast with your hosts, Tim Bowen.
Sometime before the end, I will manage to spit that out and get it right.
And Stephen Johnson.
You're about as good at saying that as I am at trading.
I think
Today, Tim and Stephen introduce you to the 6 finalists in our first ever SteadyTrade Paper Trading Challenge.
SteadyTrade, paper trading, and other paper steady trade, stocks to trade stuff. So,
now say that with me again. SteadyTrade, it's the name of this podcast. Paper trading, it's what our contestants will be doing. Challenge.
The first annual SteadyTrade paper trade competition.
It's a challenge either because they are competing against each other with their paper trading, or because it's super challenging for Tim Bowen to remember the actual title of this competition.
I think the producer intentionally made the name as convoluted as possible for that exact reason.
Either way, Tim's team is Kara, Chris, and Josh. Steven's team is Liz, Louie, and Jude. And you're going to hear from all 6 of them today. And throughout this contest, you will learn as they learn, be coached and mentored as they are coached and mentored. They will start paper trading on November 1st, 2018. The person with the smallest account balance goes home at the end of each month, and the last person standing will win a year of StocksToTrade Pro, where they will be mentored for real by Tim Bowen. So let's get on with today's episode and meet our 6 contestants.
Welcome back to the SteadyTrade podcast. You know, we've got a fun agenda today. So we are working towards the first annual SteadyTrade paper trade competition. Like one of these times, sometime before the end, I will manage to spit that out and get it right. But
you're about as good at saying that as I am at trading.
I think the producer intentionally made the name as convoluted as possible for that exact reason, because he knew I would screw it up every time. But so today we kind of just a little bit of background. If this is your first episode, we started this idea going back to the Trader and Investor Summit in Orlando, end of September, I think it was, where we, not we, actually, Stephen and the producer Glenn interviewed close to 80 people that wanted to compete in this competition. Met a lot of people, a lot of interesting stories, a lot of very diverse backgrounds in everything all around the world, all around different trading experiences. And then we whittled that down to about, I think, 18 it was. Then we did a final interview process, which you'll hear those interviews in this episode. And we're basically ready to announce our teams at this point.
Yeah, and it's been super, super fun. I mean, it's the closest I've ever felt to being a judge on the X Factor or Pop Idol. But we really did get people from not just all areas of America and not just all areas of the world, but we actually had ordinary people, and we actually interviewed some X-Men or an X-Man, which is an inside joke. Literally a man who looked like Wolverine showed up at the conference. Or was it Logan? Logan is Wolverine. He didn't have the steel clothes, but everything else was dead on.
I think technically I think he considers himself to be Logan versus Wolverine, but I think he's working on like the adamantium claws and stuff like that. Then he would be Wolverine. So
and if he's watching this, we'll get him on. But if we're just going to talk about the non-mutant contestants for now, we've got some cool people. I mean, we've just found out with teams. I am pretty satisfied with mine. I'm pretty happy with them. I think that they're a good bunch, and we will work well as a young, dynamic, up-and-coming team together.
So just a little bit of background. What we're going to do here is this is the SteadyTrade paper trading competition, and we've got 2 teams. Basically, Stephen is mentoring three participants. I'm mentoring 3 participants, and what we're both going to handle it a little bit differently, but what I will be doing is basically weekly, we'll be reviewing the trades and the, really I'm going to ask for diaries. I'm going to ask for, trading logs, what they're thinking, because there's so much more that goes into trading versus, I bought XYZ here and I sold here and I made or lost $100. This is going to be a multi-month competition. The idea would be starting people out in all different phases, working them through, through the process. And I really think about, I'll probably get picked on, but, since my daughter was little, she's always loved Dancing with the Stars. I really kind of think about this as a lot like Dancing with the Stars, where they mostly like B-list celebrities that have no dancing experience. And then if you've watched that show, a lot of these people get pretty freaking good in 6 to 8 weeks, and a lot of them don't get any better, etc. But that's kind of the model we're looking for, to take people with varying experiences and then get them better over a multi-month competition, basically.
And it's such a fitting analogy that you say Dancing with the Stars, because you'll feel like you're looking at the stars when you fall over and pass out, when I rage ahead of you with my superstar training. And it starts with not calling them participants. My team are not participants. Okay, I don't call them participants. I don't call them numbers. I don't call them ordinary. I call them extraordinary. My people are superstar heroes. And my method of training is to say, if you don't have a drink of alcohol with you, get out. Get out, because we train with alcohol. I mean, maybe we don't train with alcohol. I'm not sure if I'm ethically or legally allowed to do that, but I'm much more of a young generation. People I've grew up on kind of video lessons and stuff. So I'll be encouraging the guys who I work with to send kind of screen recordings of what they were thinking when they made specific trades. And then I'll go back and I'll take a look and I'll review it. I think I'll predominantly be short biased. I understand that you'll be probably more long biased. We've got different trading styles. So maybe
don't try and pigeonhole me, brother.
You're a pigeon. I've just pigeonholed you. I don't know what I'm even saying. But yeah, I mean, I can introduce a couple of the guys. We have our own YouTube celebrity called Liz Lely. Is it Liz Lely or Liz Lee? Anyway, she's a funny girl, funny woman. She started off creating YouTube videos about her grandma because she simply just thought it was a funny thing to do. She's got her own YouTube series of I am a penny stock trader, what the hell am I doing? Liz, for you today and for the next 6 months, if you make it, I'll be trying to help you understand what the hell you're doing. But that's enough of what I've got to say about Liz. You can hear for yourself.
You're the best around. Nothing's gonna ever keep you down. You're the best.
Liz Lee, welcome to the interview for the SteadyTrade paper trading competition. How are you doing?
I'm happy to be here.
Me too. I'm super happy for you to be here. But I mean, just before we get into any of the trading mumbo jumbo, I just want to know a little bit about you. So can you tell the audience and listeners, who are you and kind of what are you doing day to day and what's your history?
Okay, my origin story, as Bowen would say. So let's see. I'm a lady and I live in Brooklyn. I'm in grad school. I'm studying social work. I've been paper trading. Well, I kind of like got into this a little bit after you. So I've been paper trading for a year. I'm in the challenge, trying to balance life. I have a cat. She always comes around when I talk to the computer. So she'll come around. I don't know.
What's the cat's name?
Cassie.
Cassie. All right.
Mm-hmm.
But Liz, I heard that you're a little bit of a comic. I heard that you have a raw talent when it comes to comedy, and I also know a secret that you have a YouTube channel. So why don't you tell us about this?
Okay, so you can find my YouTube channel. It's Liz Lele. I actually started by videotaping my mom. This series is called The Adventures of the Elderly. My mom is 72. I'm 32. So it's already interesting. And just kind of like, videotaping like how she does her hair and like how she walks around. But yeah, I don't know. So if you see that, you'll know like she's funny. So I think it's been passed down genetically.
I love that. And if you are funny, can you share a joke on the spot right now?
So this is the interesting part because my funniness like seeps out like it can't, like, what, you know, when you like ask somebody to be funny, it's hard. I think it will come
I'm
on
already
its own.
okay. I mean, I'm laughing inside personally. I'm laughing inside, and it's bursting to get out already. I'm already laughing. Do you know what I mean?
There you go.
I mean, I'm laughing already. But so you're on YouTube. You've joined the challenge.
Mhm.
How's this going for you?
I mean, I like it. My secret in terms of the challenge is I love to watch videos at double speed, because
Wow.
going to school and having an internship and trying to do this, I need to maximize my time. So it's just very interesting. Like I hear Tim Sykes on like, and I just got used to it, but
Wow.
that's how I'm studying.
I mean, could you imagine if just the world was like that and we're all just lived twice as fast and evolved twice as fast? That's pretty.
It's a good trick, I think. It's a good trick.
So now what, what brought you to, we talked about a little bit of your history, but kind of what brought you to trading? What brought you to, to Sykes? What made you find SteadyTrade, et cetera? So.
All right. So I'm in luxury retail now, but I started off as a babysitter or nanny because it was better income than your usual $8 an hour minimum wage type of thing. I also like the idea.
Would you be interested in babysitting Steven?
I mean, I love Steven. I am like so.
Well, that you're not answering the question. I mean, yeah. How much would it cost to keep you from letting him, drink 6 days a week, show up late for podcasts, use the podcast as a dating platform? I mean, how much would it cost to kind of like babysit Steven? So
I'm a retired babysitter. I can't go back. I'm sorry.
In other words, you don't want the job. Yeah.
I feel like I enabled Steven because at the conference, I personally gave him my drink tickets. I was like, I know that you're the person who can appreciate this the most. So.
And I did. And Liz, you're in luxury retail.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you personally are luxurious real estate.
Thank you.
If I can make that comparison, I think you are luxurious real estate.
Thank you.
You are the bomb.com.
Thank you.
I'm feeling excited about this already, but let's get away from the love sentiment and more towards the trading sentiment. So you've made some videos. You're pretty semi-famous on YouTube because you've documented some experiences just eating porridge. Some of your videos are just you eating porridge.
So when I first met you in the line, you were like, "You're Lizzie who eats porridge on the YouTube." And I was like, "Yeah, that's me."
The funny thing is, I always talk about this, but your like when Steven tries to do Austin Powers, your English accent was just better than his, I think.
You do it. See, groovy, baby.
I still, we need to do a background check on Steven. I don't even think he's from England, to be honest with you.
Wait, but what was the question? Was I answering something? I forgot.
I don't know. Were you? Yeah, baby, yeah. No, okay,
yeah,
sorry.
Baby, I was answering something and then I forgot.
I forgot I was going in the bath.
I forgot. I was taking a bath and then the water overflowed and I'm here.
You are a comedian.
He loves me.
You are a comedian. You are. The laughter outside, inside.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Okay, we could run forever like this.
I'm like in the same vein as Steven.
We are.
Odd.
Odd as shit.
And do you consider that a positive or a negative attribute?
Such a positive. If it wasn't for Steven, I might have quit trading.
Really? Okay, well then give us some background on that. There's a good story.
Oh my God. So he was like, "Oh, I'm the first person to ever document my trades." He's like, "If this is a scam, I'm going to blow it up." And I was like, "Cool. Oh, this was the question. How did I get into everything?" So I was a babysitter, right? I'm going to backtrack and then double answer. So I was a babysitter. I had a good enough income to start thinking about like, how can I invest in the market? So I think the first thing I bought was 4 shares of Apple. Okay. And I
Bet you
think
wish you could
after,
on them.
yeah, after like 2 weeks, I got like $1. And I was like, I'm not going
Nice.
to be able to be free financially. So then I was like looking on YouTube, and I came across this one guy's story, Connor Bruggerman or whatever his name was, on Tim Pike's site. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. So I start and I'm trying to trade by myself. I think I bought my favorite shoe company. I bought a couple shares of them, Franco Sarto. I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't know. And
they're your favorite shoe company. You don't know how to pronounce it?
yeah, I don't know, but
Okay.
let's go with Franco Sarto. So yeah. So then I was like, okay. And then I got like, whatever, $12. I'm like, I'm not going to make it. So I'm looking at all these different ideas, and I'm listening to like free YouTube videos of Sykes, right? Where he's like, cut losses quickly. And I'm like, oh, and I was doing this ridiculous stuff. Like I was, I found some dude's website called like Zach's Financial Tips or whatever. So I was just randomly buying random stuff and holding it as it was like going down. Hold on, I want to blow my nose. How do I block this? Yeah, I have a cold. Hang on. I can't show you. Just pretend.
I kind of wish Steven would do this all the time. Just cover the screen. There.
Thank you.
Oh, no.
Oh my God, Steven loves it. Okay, so where was I? Yeah, my nose is like so crazy. So I'm like buying stuff and it's going down. Like, do you remember that juice company? It's not SPY. It's like
SPU, Sky People Fruit Juice.
Yeah, I bought Sky People Fruit at like $6. Like, watched it go down. I was doing ridiculous things. And I was like, meanwhile, learning from Sykes of just like, cut your losses, keep yourself in cash so that when an opportunity comes, you can invest. And I'm like, wow, like this guy knows what he's talking about. But by that point, I lost $1,600. So I was like, I'm going to put the brakes on. I'm going to paper trade. And I've been doing that, trying to like figure out what's going on. What was the second question? I forgot.
I just think if we had a child that would go to a mental institute, that's the thought that keeps on. Yes, I would be worried for us to have children. I mean, it would be an attractive child, but
oh my God, I don't have children. I'm sorry, but I would have a dog with someone. I love dogs. They're great.
I just want to be part of evolution.
Are you wait, you're talking about having children with me?
Yeah, of course.
You're not even like doing, like, you're jumping the gun. Think of me as like
obviously you haven't watched many episodes of the SteadyTrade podcast.
Oh my God, are you kidding me? I'm like so on top of SteadyTrade. But
well, then you need to rewatch them because you should know that this is
I know
a recurring theme.
I know. I was at the conference and he made out with that girl. I know all about him.
But when you give us the drink ticket and you looked us straight in the eye, were you not like, let's have mental children because we're both crazy? You didn't think that when you give us the drink tickets? Because I thought that you thought that.
I want to support all of your mental fantasies. I gave you the drink tickets just to be like an enabler, I think, because I wasn't going to use them, and I know that you like to drink, which is bad. I should not do that. But you'll quit on your own time.
Already have. Did
I want to have mental children with you? As a retired babysitter, I have PTSD from like child screams. Just a jog. That's all I can handle.
Okay,
no screaming. I can't.
Let's skip ahead and say, why do you want to be in this competition?
Let's see. I mean, just for the obvious reasons, I want to be a successful trader. I've been hammering away for 2 years now, as have you. I always admired that you did STT Pro and your YouTube and all this stuff, so you're like learning more. I think that I would have a good shot. But yeah, I just want financial freedom. I just want to finally get it. That's it. And then I want to help other people get it.
I love it. And do you think you can win it? Do you feel like you have the capability to go the distance?
I do.
And who would you want as your mentor?
I mean, so I was listening to a previous episode where you said that you will not think of your participants as humans, but
Did I
But
really say that?
I want to be on your team because, I mean, you want to have mental children with me, so you definitely think I'm a human. And I just love that we're the underdogs.
I like that
But
too.
the underdogs
I like
always
that
win.
attitude. Yeah.
I mean, I honestly believe I have seen so many Stocks to Trade Pro webcasts, or whatever you call them, webinars, that I feel like I know how Tim Bone thinks, so I can strategically have the overhand on him because I know his weaknesses. I mean, he might have watched all my YouTube videos. I highly, highly, highly doubt he has.
Well, I
don't
watched
even
every
know.
one of them. Trust me.
I mean, like when Glenn asked me originally during the interview, I was like, "Oh, tough call, right?" But just because of your history and because you're still like chugging away, and I love what you represent in terms of like, don't give up. So even if we fail, we will fail gloriously. But given that I've practiced for a year, I think I've got a little something under my belt. As weird as it is, it might work out.
No, I mean, I think if we work together and we trade the right patterns, and I mean, my biggest flaw is discipline, and because it is paper trading, it's a good opportunity to practice that. And so for me, I'm looking forward to practice and discipline, and I'm looking at, and I feel like you and I together will have the technical capabilities if we push forward to outthink, outdrink, and outmaneuver Tim Bone.
I would, since you two are so think you're such a great pair, I would relish the opportunity to vanquish you. Much like as Conan once said, what are the great things in life? You can Google it.
Conan O'Brien.
No, Conan the Barbarian, man.
Oh.
When would I quote Conan O'Brien? I only quote Conan the Barbarian, man.
Okay.
Conan, what is best in life? To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of your women. That is good. That is good.
I represent ladies. I represent female empowerment in financial services, financial success. I'm funny, so you'll learn and laugh. They both start with L. Me and Steven are cool. What?
I just want to say hashtag me too. I am with all of that.
Thank you. Oh, my cat never showed up. Okay. I'm just happy to be here. I'm happy. I'm here to show that I can figure stuff out too.
Me too. I'm all about that. Female empowerment, live the dream, rock and roll.
Yeah. I'll get like makeup and like clothes and shoes. Like I want to represent.
It's funny. That's like the same. That's the same goals Steven lists for his trading profits. Makeup, dresses. Yeah. It's very similar actually. So
I want you to draw with red makeup on my face.
Oh, draw what?
Red makeup with a pen on my face. Just write whatever you want. Just make it filthy.
I will only do positive things to you. I'll write like I'm a winner.
Yeah, just write live the dream.
So
and then just scribble on my face with a
I will
red
never
pen.
bash you, Steven. Steven, you and me are like,
I feel it. I feel the mental connection. I feel like okay.
So thank you, Liz. That was kind of interesting to get to know her a little bit. Now we get to know the first part or participant team member. Since Steven didn't like my kind of vanilla term, but Kara is the first member on my team. I'm very interested in her. She's very, very green. Maybe one of the, when it comes to actual trading experience, maybe one of the greenest in the competition. But I like that because it gives me the ability to kind of coach her without any of these kind of pre-existing ideas, I guess you would say.
You're the best around. Nothing's gonna ever keep you down. You're the best.
Actually, my name is pronounced Kara. Like, I care a lot.
I care about you, and we've just got started. Don't worry. I already care about you, Kara. We're both
you know, with Steven as my co-host, I just kind of feel like we should have just like disqualified all females from this competition. So, I mean, not trying to be sexist, but I'm just trying to control my co-host here.
No, but Kara, you care about people. I care about people. I mean, that's a wonderful start. So, I mean, what do you do? Well, I mean, what do you do? Where are you from?
Okay. So I'm actually from Texas. I work as a I work as a IT consultant at different hospitals. So I go from like state to state, and I help doctors and nurses like transition into a new medical record system kind of thing. So yeah.
So you're responsible for, you know, occasionally I do get injured and have to go to the emergency room. So you're responsible for me having to give the same information to the front desk, then go back, give the same information again, and then give the same information again. Is that your fault?
No, so I'm helping those people. I'm helping them with the computer. So they're like, so where do I click again to type his name in? I'm like, oh, just right here. Just click that button and you're good. Yeah.
Kara, don't worry. Tim Bourne is a cynical old man who doesn't understand the younger generation. Don't worry about his negativity. It comes out every time, but try and edit it out. Try and edit it out. but it's sometimes it's overwhelming.
So what's your trading history, kind of like give us that story, you know? Okay. What brought you to the conference? Are you trading? Where are you at and kind of on your journey?
All right, so personally right now I'm just trying to work on my emotions, like the emotional aspect of trading. I haven't really done too many trades. I'm basically pretty new, but I've been studying a lot of Tim Sykes videos, and just trying to get a feel of what penny stocking or trading is really about. My mom, she does options, so she taught me a little bit about that, and that's definitely an interesting aspect of trading.
Sure. So timeline wise, kind of when did you kind of get started? How long ago?
So really putting all my effort into it. The conference actually made that huge switch for me. Going in, I wasn't very confident in myself that I could succeed at it, and I met a lot of really cool people there who kind of was like, hey, you know, you're here, you can do it, you're just as good as anybody else, you can just as long as you put forth the effort, you can do it. So like getting involved with a lot of people who had that mindset kind of like made a huge switch for me. And so now I heard a lot of people about waking up at 4 a.m. So that's what I do now. I wake up at 4. I wake up at 4, I go walk, and I talk with God, and because I want to put God first, because I don't want to get, you know, big-headed about any type of success. You always have to stay humble. So that's my way of staying humble. And I met 3 other guys there, and they're like the coolest guys. We ended up making a Discord channel called StocksToTrade. It's just the first initials of our name, and so that was pretty cool. We just keep each other motivated and study.
Yeah, I tell you, you know, it's funny you say that, because that was, you know, I think that was part of my kind of opening statement at the conference. You know, one of the things that, you know, the education is great, but man, the networking opportunities, I've opened up the last 2 or 3 of them, and every time I always try and stress that point. You know, sure, pay attention to the presentations, but man, you can learn a lot, and you can form some cool relationships inside the community at the conference. So
yeah. So,
but what's the dream for you? So you wanna pick up trading, you wanna get good at it, you wanna get kind of financially free. But what do you want to do beyond that point? Why are you doing this?
Okay, so sort of a plug for Tim Sykes. He has a charity called Karma Gawa, and that kind of, I love the idea. Karma meaning, you know, what you give out, you get back. And like Gawa meaning river. I speak Japanese, so like having like Japanese in there was really cool. I was like, oh, so my idea is I want to give back. I want to, the church that I go to, they go to different areas, and they actually buy women and children out of sexual slavery. And I feel like that's a way that I can give back, like help these women regain their a sense of identity, regain their integrity, and then get a trade, you know, whatever they can do like sewing or go back to their communities and help their community and be positive. So
This was, I think we kind of spoke about it, but we kind of skipped over it a little bit. Are you actively trading, or are you still just in the learning phase?
I'm still in the learning phase.
Okay, perfect. So that's great. We kind of wanted to know. I kind of, thanks to Steven, I think we veered off in the weeds like we often do. So, so have you been doing any paper trading? Have you done any mechanics of trading, or are you just kind of watching the material so far?
Watching material so far, I kind of have an idea of how I want to trade. I've seen some long strategies from Stephen Duck's video. I really liked his idea of like putting in a third, not putting in your whole amount in the beginning, putting in a third, waiting for the dip, seeing if it rises, breaks through that last area, putting in the next third, and then on the third dip, taking out, just taking out like 2/3 to see if it goes up or down. I like that strategy. It's really smart. So, but I'm also interested in shorting, and I've seen a lot of short squeezes happening recently with the cannabis stocks. So it just kept going higher and higher when people were thinking it was going to fade off. So that's interesting too.
Some of my favorite setups for sure.
Yeah.
Some of my biggest mistakes as well. I've shorted some. I learned from that in year one. About 14 months in, 15 months, I learned not to do that. But if you want to speak to the audience now.
Every opportunity that I have, I'm going to be listening to these guys. I'm going to be taking into everything they say and putting it into my trades. And so you guys will be able to see like how I trade and even learn from my mistakes. And hey, like maybe this is an opportunity to for growth, and maybe there's something that I do or that I've done that you're like, oh, maybe I can do this too, or maybe this could be done differently. And I'm open for suggestions and ideas. So yeah, and I'm excited. Why not? Woo-hoo! Yeah.
Cool. I'd like to say we'll donate all of the profits that we'll make together to charity, but I don't think it'll really amount to very much. But when it comes to real money, then it'll make a difference.
Yeah, definitely. Your name, Steven Johnson. The reason why, like at the conference, I was like, "Oh, Steven Johnson." It sounds like some kind of like high schooler, like not high schooler, sorry, like a college guy who's like really cool. But he's been in college like for it's like his 5th or 6th year.
I love that.
That started off so well and it ended so bad. It's like I'm Stephen Stifler. I mean, yeah, Tim, I'll be interested to see how you get along with Cara.
Actually, my name is pronounced Kara. Like, I care a lot.
Because she is kind of new to the game, but I think she's a hard worker. I would have liked to have had her on my team, but I trust she's in good hands with you, and she is new to the game, so I'm excited to see what you can do with her. My next up is Louie, and Liz Lee, I like to think of as a package. I like to think of them as double L, like kind of LL and Cool SJ. LL Cool SJ. LL Cool JSJ. Do you know what I mean? We're like
no,
a rap.
I don't know what
we're like I can't believe I was clever enough to think of that on the top of my head, completely spontaneously. But L and L and Cool J, we're pretty solid together. The second L of L and L is Louie. Louie's a really cool cat. He's really down to earth. He thinks on his feet quickly, so I think you'll be able to think on the stock market quickly. If you need some fashion advice, or if you feel like you're a bit of a fashion crime, he is the man to take some time to fix you up and nail you down with some sweet, sweet garments. But let's hear it from him.
You're the best around. Nothing's gonna ever keep you down. You're the best.
Welcome back to the, I guess you would call it the audition phase of the SteadyTrade paper trading challenge with trading and other paper SteadyTrade StocksToTrade stuff. So we're continuing our interview with some of our applicants, I guess you would call them. And today we have Luis. These are people that we spoke to at the conference. I'm getting to meet Luis for the first time. I think maybe Steven is as well. And so Luis, kind of give us a little bit of a background. Start with the standard stuff: who you are, where you're from, what you do, et cetera, et cetera.
Gotcha. So my name is
Don't
Luis
let that
Pena.
Sealy fan cut your head off, by the way.
I know. I'm actually quite tall, so you're right. I should be paying attention to that. But not a knock on you, Tim. So my full name is
Oh,
Luis Pena.
Hey, I'm fine with my height, okay? I know I'm short.
Hey, dynamite comes in small packages.
Ooh, I like that. I like
Wow.
So my name is Luis Pena. It's a shortened down from a full Latino name. I am, when I think about it, I am kind of the classic American immigration dream. I was born in Puerto Rico, which is part of the United States. I am of Dominican descent, so both my parents are Dominican, my grandparents are Dominican, my great-grandparents are Dominican, going back and back and back. And like, most families, they wanted a better opportunity. So my mom and I, we immigrated to New York City, where most Puerto Ricans and Dominicans wind up. I grew up there as a kid, so I lived there till I was like 13. Then we moved down to Florida, moved around between Fort Lauderdale and Orlando between like 13 and 20. And then when I was 20, I just had an inkling to move out to the West Coast. So I packed my bags, saved a couple $100s, decided to go to college and moved across country. And I've been there since. And it's been, I had to give away my age, but like 15 years.
So,
wow.
Yeah.
Interesting backstory. We'll talk about it more. So what are you doing these days?
So right now I work full-time for a luxury fashion house in retail. I work on Rodeo Drive, famed Beverly Hills. And when I'm not there, I'm literally on this computer learning to trade.
Cool. And can I just ask how, you sent a quote in with your application and it described yourself as uncanny instincts and unparalleled charisma. Can you tell me just a little bit about how you use that in your day-to-day life to your advantage?
I guess the best way to word it is that I just have a sense of people. It's how I've done so well working in sales, because I work in sales and commission. So it's all about people. It's not even about the products that I sell. It's about the people I connect with. So I have to constantly connect with strangers on a daily basis. So it's something that's just been in me since I was a child. I mean, I've always been willing to talk to strangers. I mean, in New York City, you're on a subway. So what are you surrounded by? Strangers. So I was always the fearless one going up saying, hey, how are you? What's that? What are you doing? What's happening? And I never really grew out of that. And it's just something that draws people in. I love photography as well. So, and part of why I love photography is because I get to put the lens on the world. Especially now in this 21st century, it's so much about us and me and the selfies. And I like to think more about other people and what's going on in the world. So I guess that's where that comes from.
Now,
nice.
People like me.
The quote from Jill Brown is impressive, but what I want to know, how do you get a NASA program manager to give a quote about you? That's what I want to know, because I want a quote about me from someone.
You know what? It's just part of that charisma and charm. Bless her. I've known her for so many years.
But you didn't work at NASA or anything?
No, not at all. Are you kidding me? She's the brains behind that. I'm the creative person. I literally live for creation, whether it's cooking, which I can cook, baking, which I can bake, painting, which I can paint, photography, anything that has to do with creation that's, all me. Doing what I'm doing now with trading it's pretty exciting because it's so anti-me. It kind of riled up.
So why do you want to be in the paper trading challenge? What made you sign up?
The opportunity to get to work with you, Stephen. Come on.
Oh, wow.
Even though I know after listening to the last podcast, if I get onto your team, you're just going to burn through your 3 lives as quickly as possible. So
you weren't supposed to hear that one. Yeah. Glenn,
that was meant to be out there.
We got to make sure that producer Glenn, we got to make sure that all potential applicants did not hear that episode. So.
No, but to be very honest, it's all I heard was the opportunity to be mentored by Steven Johnson or Tim Bowen. That's all I needed to hear. It's like my mom always said, surround yourself with people who are better than you and smarter than you. You guys are better and smarter than me in this industry, so why not?
Now, just to put a little context to things, where are you at in your trading journey? How long have you been studying? Are you actively trading? Are you just kind of feeling things out, or kind of where are you? What's your history with trading?
Gotcha. So I'm actively trading right now. I have been trading since spring of this year.
Okay.
I started with $5,000 and I'm now down to $1,300. I actually blew it down to way less than that, and I'm just steadily, it's kind of sparking, so I'm kind of going back into the green. But before that, I was with StocksToTrade since early last year, and I've been studying for 1, 2, 3. I think it'll be going on 3 years now. Even before I was actively trading, I was studying for 2 years. So yeah, shit. Sorry.
So are you?
My language. I have no sense of time. So when I actually get asked these questions, I'm like, fuck, that's a long time.
Are you more typically long biased or short biased?
Long right now. I do want to learn shorting, but because I feel like shorting has so much more risk where I can literally blow past zero and start owing money, I want to get into the rhythm of doing long first. And then once I get into the rhythm, and it's more so about building confidence, I realize this is a real big mental game. And I'm only just now kind of like crossing over into like, I feel confident when I click buy. So I want to continue on that path. And then once I'm good there, all right, then we'll start moving on into shorting.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's so often misunderstood. Everybody thinks it's like you versus the market. It's mostly you against you. It's
been me against me. I've discovered stuff about myself I had no freaking clue about, and I'm like, this is hella awesome. I'm getting therapy and money at the same time.
But I mean, Louis, I think I wouldn't mind having you on my team, even though you're not quite ready to show. But I mean, I think we could do some counseling, baby. I think we can get to the next level with you. I think if I teach you a couple of patterns and you just avoid my discipline errors, I think we can win this together, baby. I think we can ride all the way to the fucking I think we can ride all the way to the stars and the moon.
Dude, I'm so ready. I mean, I got to thank you because like you really you make it fun for me. It got to a point where I was getting too serious about this, and I was too much into like, I got to make money, I got to win, I got to do this. And I just realized, if I'm going to do this for a while and a really long time, which is what I want to do, I got to have fun with it. So, I mean, thank you. You're such a dork and you're half ridiculous most of the time. But
I like
my life because I take myself too serious sometimes. So
dork might be the nicest term I've ever heard applied to Steve.
I'm being soft right now because I might be on air. So
no, but I mean, in all honesty, I think you've got to have fun with it. And I remember Tim Sykes said to me once in an email, he was just like, you can't force success. It's going to happen when it happens. So Louis, if it's 3 years, 5 years, 6 years, I mean, we just had a pilot on the other day and he said it took him 20 years. And when we asked him, would you go back and not trade because it took you 20 years to trade profitably? He said, I would never, ever not trade. It might take us 20 years, but it's worth it because the satisfaction is well worth the 20 years in time. So Louis, me and you, let's get on the horse. Let's first we'll learn to trot, then we'll learn to ride, and we'll be winning this competition together if we're in it together.
Let's do it. I'll make a t-shirt. Number 1, Steven Johnson, the most successful student.
Love it. Thanks. You'll be more successful than me. Just don't lose.
Well, thanks a lot, Louis. Again, I really love your energy. If anything, I want you on my team just to spite Steven. There's few things that make me as happy as spiting him in any way. So it'll all end up random, but I would love to have you on my team too, man.
We can do a Shark Tank episode here. It's okay. I'm open to bidders.
There you go. Next member on my team is one I'm very excited about. Is Chris Rondini. Did a hilarious. I guess I don't know if you'd call it a tribute video. I kind of hate to use that word, but he did a video. He's a DJ. He's also got a lot of video editing skills. Did a hilarious video. 3, 2, 1. Boom, boom, boom. Blowing up an account. Boom, boom, boom.
For me, it was a bad night.
Boom, boom, boom. It never gets better. Boom, boom, boom. It only gets worse.
It'll probably come down.
Back off.
That went in kind of without a plan.
You either learn or you earn. Boom, boom, boom.
Add higher and add higher.
Boom, boom, boom. You're adding to a loser. Boom, boom, boom.
It flipped me upside down and
Boom, boom, boom.
Steven is a degenerate.
Why are we even interviewing this guy? He's in.
You're the best around. Nothing's gonna ever keep you down. You're the best.
I don't give a fuck what he has to say in this interview. Man.
Perfect. That's what I like to hear.
I mean, seriously.
Welcome, DJ Deanie, or is it Chris? I'm not sure how you prefer to be, what name you prefer to go by, but who are you? Where are you from? Well, obviously, we've seen some of your abilities. Are you a full-time DJ, dude?
I am. I'm a full-time DJ. My name is Chris, but pretty much everyone just calls me Deanie. I am the video DJ world champion. I won the world championships in Las Vegas a couple of years ago. And I am an active trader, and I love making videos and just working with music and doing everything I can.
Now, that interesting backstory. I love it, and that video was incredible, man. So, how? Explain to me. I'm curious. You know, so the World Championship DJ, like, so is this like Olympics where there's judges? How is this decided?
Yeah, there's judges.
Okay.
That year it was DJ Scribble. He was one of the judges. DJ Josh Carl, DJ Crime. And what it is you go up, you compete, you do a 6-minute set, lots of scratching and tricks, and you make it the best you can, try to catch everyone's attention, show that you have the most technical skill, and at the end they pick a winner.
And then it's kind of like the Olympics. They give you a 7 or a 9 or a 10 or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
For the most part, they score you 1 to 10 in a couple different categories, and then ultimately they pick your winner.
Huh. So
Nice.
now
well,
go ahead, Steven. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was gonna say, why did you take up trading? Because you've kind of nailed your craft. You're really good at something. What makes you want to do trading?
Well, I've always been interested in trading, and I've always been doing it. I really got my start back in 2008 when there was the big market crash, and I was like, oh, I should invest some money here. Everything's down, and it worked out good. Made some money then, but I've always had a hard time finding consistency. So that's what I've really been working on. I have time in the morning for sure, because I live on the West Coast. So, I'm up at 5, 6 in the morning, and it works out good. I have a 5-year-old, and I've plenty of time in the morning to do stuff before I go to my day job as well.
See, it's funny you say that. I always talk, a lot of people, I talk about when I get up early too. And I've always been jealous of the West Coast guys. I've always said I think it'd be awesome. You get done at, say you trade the open a lot, or even if you trade all day, you're still done at 1 p.m. Pacific time. So,
right.
But what's your normal job? How do you not just do YouTube videos for a living? Because they're really good. I don't get it.
My normal job is I'm a video editor for Disney Channel.
Okay, that makes sense.
I do a bunch of like cool music stuff with them. I cut like music videos and stuff like that. Lots of viral kind of videos like that one. And that is my normal job, basically.
Dude, you're living the dream. So what's your dream? Because it sounds like you're already living the dream.
My dream is to pay off my house. And more than anything, any way I can make more income is fine with me.
Awesome. So now you'd mentioned you've traded a lot, going on 10 years now, roughly. Have you traded, what have you mostly traded? Or is a little bit of everything? Or, you'd mentioned buying some stocks back in 2008. Were you buying like good companies that were down big, or kind of what's your experience?
So back then, the things that were hit the hardest were financial. So I just, I threw a bunch of money in financial stocks, and they came back up, and it worked out good. Ever since then, I'd say I've been kind of all over the board, whether it's higher price, lower price, just really trying to find my niche. I mean, once once I discovered, the Sykes DVDs and all that stuff, then I started focusing more on the lower price stuff. But I still do try to trade some higher stuff. So right now, my niche is, I'm definitely short biased for sure. But I'm definitely trying to find what actually works the best for me, where I can be consistent. I was telling Steven earlier, like my biggest problem has always been, if I get over PDT, then I just go crazy.
The 1 step forward, 2 steps back type idea.
Absolutely.
Okay.
But dude, we're exactly the same though. And I remember speaking with Roland a while back, and Roland's Roland, but he even said he went back and forth with PDT for a long time. Like as soon as he got over, he just went crazy. And we all learn fast. Like some people learn faster than other people, but dude, I'm exactly the same.
Yeah.
I'm always over and under 25,000 constantly.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, for me, I think you've got to try and find something to distract you. I've tried everything, and recently I've looked a little bit more into higher price stocks, and like that education side has kind of distracted me from not taking a trade in penny stocks when the trade isn't there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But why do you want to be in the paper trading competition?
Yeah, that was my next question. You've got all these careers, which are interesting careers for sure. You've got experience. Why do you want to be in this particular paper trading challenge? I'm very curious.
I mean, for me, the main thing is I got to lock down how to be profitable. You could trade with real money, but if it goes up, it goes down. It makes it a lot harder as far as when I can actually trade, because if I lose money, it's like, oh man, now I'm locked out and whatever. And right now I'm actually locked out. I was telling him I was locked out of my E-Trade account. I'm locked out of pretty much all my stock trading accounts for violating PDT too many times. So
now you do know the trick. Have you asked for forgiveness?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Because usually they'll
I'm beyond the forgiveness threshold.
Okay. I see, because they don't really tell you that. So I just wanted to make sure you knew that. Okay.
Yeah.
But you've just got to add it back, right? Like I've requested PDT resets many times, and I've just got to the point where I'm like, I'll add money again. I'll add the 400. Like I'll put myself 25.2, 25.3. So like I cannot lose more than $300, and I'm blocked. It's like it's a motivation to cut the loss, right?
Right.
We should start like the down with the PDT podcast. All we do is try and get them to get rid of that stupid rule. But anyway.
Oh, I think it's a lifesaver. I think if I wasn't under PDT, if I didn't have that 25K threshold, I would find it a lot easier to lose that money.
But every time I drop, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Like when I hit 24.8, 24.7 on the account, it's the end of the world. And I'll not trade for a week. Then I'll have to add $500 in. See, and make sure I don't lose the savings. Do you know what I mean? I don't lose that money.
And I get that, but the only and not to take up too much of Chris's time, the biggest thing I see is people staying in shitty trades because they don't want to use their last day trade. I see that a lot where people are bag holding, but they're like, well, I'll just wait till tomorrow and then I don't use my last day trade. And then, tomorrow comes and they lose another $500. That's why I hate it so much,
Yeah. I mean, I get that, but if I look back at my track history over 2 years, I was more consistently profitable under PDT than over it.
Interesting.
And
okay.
I'm sure Dino will say the same. Is your name from Houdini? Is that where it comes from?
Oh, my last name is Rondini.
Ah, okay.
So when I was a kid, everybody gets a nickname. So people a lot of times
you don't want to know what Steven's nickname was as a kid.
It was actually just Jonas. People call us Jonas.
No, we don't want to get you back crying again. Don't even mention it.
I like your orange hat. You look like a lollipop lady.
It's 40 degrees in Michigan, man. Come and some slack. I don't have much hair up top. I got to keep my head warm somehow.
What made you choose that color?
It's hunter orange, man. I don't want to get sniped.
Safety first.
Exactly. Safety first.
Okay, dude. Last question for you, I guess. Who? I mean, and you can say Tim Bourne. I will not take any offense. But who would you like to be on whose team would you like to be on? And why?
Honestly, I'm good with either team. That's my super politically correct answer.
What's your real answer?
No, honestly, I'd be fine with either team.
I mean, Tim Bourne knows how to trade profitably and has for 10 years. So if I was going to learn from anyone, it would probably be him. But I mean, if you want to pick me, that's totally cool.
Yeah, no,
hey, you never know, Steven. You might be the next Steven Dutton.
Dude, I'm the underdog.
You might be.
Dude, but I'm the underdog, dude. I've got you. If I beat you at this competition, you have nothing but shame.
I know. It's like
so much shame. Like you, I have nothing.
That is the one drawback to this idea is it's almost like unlimited upside for you and like unlimited downside for me, because it's like
yeah, dude, you will be hugely embarrassed. I would quit StocksToTrade Pro and everything. I'll just quit being a teacher. just hand your notice to StocksToTrade and just say I'm finished. It's over.
Well, Chris, I tell you what, that video was incredible, man. I love it. You definitely bring something interesting. I think pretty much, well, we've had some people with some experience, but you've definitely kind of got the most, I don't know, I think the most fleshed out experience in trading. So I think it'd be cool to have you in this competition for sure. So
I'd love to be in it. I've definitely, I've learned a lot from my mistakes. So I'm ready to be super competitive and try to take it home for whoever team I get on.
Let's take it home, baby. Let's take it home. I'm ready.
Chris has been he's been trading stocks, I think, for 20 years, roughly. He's got the experience. And you know what? Hey, Louis cool, great guy, love his enthusiasm. He doesn't have a chance against Chris and his experience.
Turn him around? I don't know. And with Jude has faith. Jude has crystals. Jude's a little bit spiritual. And if we can get behind the scenes in the stock market and really do a little bit of meditation, I think we're going to meditate our way to success.
You're the best around. Nothing's gonna ever keep you down. You're the best.
We have Jude here, who is an entrant for the SteadyTrade paper trading competition. You may know her before from a previous podcast episode where we sang Hey Jude to her. Welcome, Jude. How are you?
I am good. I actually don't remember you singing Hey Jude to me, so I may actually request that because that's probably my favorite song. But I actually sang a song for you guys.
Jude, this episode is dedicated to you because you basically are the first person to make Tim Bourne cry on the podcast.
Aww.
I want to thank Tim and Steven for all your humor. Listen to SteadyTrade podcast and remember what they said. You gotta know when to hold them and to keep holding them.
Dude, I mean, no bullshit. I don't know if it shows up on camera, but I have tears running down my face.
Aww.
Yeah, and if for the listeners out there, I don't remember the episode number, but I think it was the fierce female trader or something like that, wasn't it?
It was. You started talking about it at minute 32 on episode 31.
Dang.
And my interview was episode 32 for anyone who's interested.
And Jude, just before we start, can I just ask you why Hey Jude is one of your favorite songs, Jude?
Because that's actually how I got my name. My birth name is Judith, and that never felt right for me because it just felt too mature. And I don't think I'll ever be mature enough to own the name Judith. But everyone kept saying, "Hey, Jude," and I'm like, "That's my name." So that was
Jude,
it.
For those who don't know, who are you? What do you do? And what are your thriving passions?
Oh, wow. Big question. Okay, so I'm from Vancouver, Canada. I'm a registered massage therapist, and my thriving passions are traveling, spiritual retreats, anything that's out of the ordinary, woo-woo. I have not yet chased it down any UFOs, but that would be fun if I happen to see any. And of course, trading is my newest passion, and hanging out with you guys, which is always fun.
So what exactly is a spiritual retreat? Explain this to me.
Oh man.
What goes on at these events?
I would say a spiritual retreat is probably different for everybody because it allows people the opportunity, maybe it's not religious, but maybe an opportunity to find out what their connection with their God or universe or anything that's sort of higher than them, and then bringing that back to themselves, because ultimately we're not separate. So
are any of these retreats functional in curing alcoholism?
Absolutely.
Okay, all right.
And
I might have a buddy.
I
might want to go on one of these trips with me.
Don't worry, Johnson's already coming on one with me. We already talked.
Hey, honestly,
that wasn't who you were talking about, was it?
No. Just another friend.
I mean, honestly, if SteadyTrade or the big parent StocksToTrade, if you guys want to fund it, I'm there. I'll attend. I'll go as many times as you want.
Well,
I'll
spiritual retreats free? They shouldn't be about money.
No, and that's why I'm trading, so that I can fund all the fun spiritual treats that I'd like to go on. No, that's part of why I'm trading, but yeah. No, it's expensive to be spiritual, but you could really just do it. You could do it in your backyard.
Those crystals that add up, man. You start, but exactly. The patchouli oil crystals.
You have no idea how many crystals I have. They're like around my bed. They come traveling with me. Good vibes. I'm all about good vibes.
If you are chosen for the paper trading challenge, will you use the power of the crystals?
Yes.
To make
absolutely
nice. I like it.
To help.
You might have to be on my team. I like
this. Just for the audience, where are you in your trading journey right now?
I'm on So I'm going to explain a little bit of my journey, because last time in the interview, I was only in, I think, week 2 of SteadyTrade Pro. And you asked me a question about my, what was my pattern. Thank you. And I just kind of made it up because I really didn't have one. And I'm finding that along with the journey, there's like different obstacles to come through. Like, how do you figure out which stock to focus on first thing in the morning or in the afternoon? How do you find your pattern? It's like all these things, they start to come to you in time. And I found that I couldn't really force it. And for me, it was just like, it showed up when it showed up, which was amazing. So I do have my pattern. However, it's a bit of a weird pattern. So I decided that I'm actually going to change it to an afternoon, like Tim Bowen talks about. And if I do get chosen, and if I end up on your team, Stephen, clearly that's going to go out the window, because I'll be one of your little memes and shorting whatever the heck I can short. But I'm also excited to learn about shorting too. So yeah, that's where I'm at. And I had a very successful July trading with my silly little pattern, and it was about 9 out of 10 times I was right. And the only time I wasn't was because I didn't follow my pattern exactly.
Well, remember, it's everybody's different. There's a million different instruments to trade: high price, low price, long, short, forex, cryptos. I mean, some of the best guys out there, and gals, they find a niche and they exploit that niche. So it doesn't matter what it is. If it works for you, that's what you do.
It does. Yes.
Yeah, and absolutely, we all find our little patterns, and that's the thing. Like the challenge or whatever, our pro gives you the guidance, but then something will click in your head where you think, this works for me.
There it is.
And then it's about it's just about nurturing, watering, growing, making sure the soil's got enough fertility to make it rise from a little plant stem to a tree.
Fertility. Yeah.
You're fertile right now. You're a fertile
No,
leader.
this isn't about me. I heard something about you wanting to plant a seed in somebody. See, here's the thing. Not only do I know Pete Johnson, but I also listen to all the podcasts.
I actually started a GoFundMe
I lit-
recently to get Steven sterilized. So if you want to, Google Steven Johnson GoFundMe sterilization, and I would appreciate any contributions you could give.
And don't Google Steven Johnson syndrome because it's a bad, bad disease. And I don't have it. I'm just an alcoholic. That is it.
Hey, I was excited for you at the conference. You actually had like, you had a fan following you.
A fan? Oh,
Yeah.
thick girl.
A super fan. Yeah.
Yeah, she was a super fan. She
I was,
really
I
wanted
was
to hang
happy
out.
for you. Uh-huh.
Thank you. Thank you. We don't touch, but it's okay. It was fun at the time.
So Jude, let's this is kind of basically an audition. So as we wrap up,
you notice how I'm kind of like distracting it back to Johnson.
yeah. So to wrap up here, what you're talking to America here. Why should you be the next contestant on the SteadyTrade paper trading challenge?
Wow. I would say that I am like other traders, and I'm committed to this, and I'm committed to the process. I didn't go into trading to try to win big money fast. I went in fully knowing that there was a process that was going to be uncovered. And I feel like I'm already a part of that journey with you guys, and I'm already with you, whether I get chosen or not. I'm still a part of this, and I hope that I could just bring more into it, more of my personality, which I have a bit of wisdom. It may not be in trading, but I have some personal wisdom.
I hate to break this to you, Jude.
Sure.
But it's not you. It's the crystals.
I know. Well,
the wisdom doesn't come from you. The wisdom comes from the crystals.
Exactly, and I have about 10 different crystals on here, so it's like 10 vibes hanging off my neck right now. I just hope that I could somebody could learn something from me. And I feel like when I talk with people and open myself up, there's always something that hopefully that they get. And I like to bring joy to people, and I like to make people happy, and that's ultimately what I want to do with my life. And if that's through trading, through a challenge, through podcasts, or just talking to anybody who happens to be sitting at a table next to me, that's how I'll do it.
Crystals. I mean, I love Jude. She's an STT Pro member. I've known her for quite some time. But
what are you gonna say? What are you gonna say?
What am I gonna do? I have a hero. I literally have a hero on my team. That hero is Josh. He's a firefighter. He mentioned he hasn't saved a cat from a tree yet, but he has put out many fires. He's lifelong, family history of being firemen, of being heroes. I just don't think I'm thinking of like some science fiction movie here where like the antagonist has some sort of crystals, and then I bring in the hero with the fireman. I just don't see how the crystals can outweigh the fireman.
Well, Tim, I'm not being too much of a dick, but I think with Josh, the only fires you'll be putting out is his when he blows up his account.
We shall see, my friend. We shall see.
You're the best around. Nothing's gonna ever keep you down. You're the best.
Joshua, welcome to the SteadyTrade podcast. Great to have you on as an applicant for the paper trading competition. That microphone makes me.
Thank you guys for having me.
It's good, man. I just think Lady Gaga every time I see that microphone. I don't know why. What is that microphone? Can you sing into that?
You like it?
Wow.
I
Yeah,
think you
dude.
could probably kind of sing into any microphone.
Amazon Prime right there.
Really? That is next level. I mean, what's your background? What's your job? How did you get a microphone like that?
Oh man. So you have to first apply for Lady Gaga's tour bus, cleaning guy, and then once you get good, you go through the ranks and all that. Then you
Are
start
you amongst
singing.
that?
Yeah.
Are you are you the head monster of the little?
When I was cleaning her tour bus, she heard me singing, and she was like, "Oh my God, you need to come on! You need a microphone."
Wow. And then you've just had it ever since.
Yeah, I mean, blessed with it. It's my baby.
I love that. I love that shit. You can like do a mic drop and shit with that mic. You can do like the mic drop where you just hold it and drop it.
And I do it all the time. Just walking.
What?
I don't even say anything. I just drop it.
I mean, I think you're an American. I think.
Yeah.
But what state are you from, and what do you do?
I'm from Florida. So I was
Nice.
I'm from Orlando. So, you know, I had to travel very far for the conference. And I'm a firefighter. I've been a firefighter for about 2 years now, a year and a half ish. And
How old are you?
25. Just
Okay. I thought you were younger than that, to be honest.
Oh, thanks. You know, I try to make, I try to watch my girlish figure, you know.
Nice, dude. What's the? I mean, firefighters. What's the craziest kind of fire that you've had to fight, and how many cats have you saved from trees?
So I have not saved a cat, but I've saved a llama from a fire and a snake.
Wow.
Yeah, we had our basic, house fires where, people are cooking and they can't cook and they end up lighting the stove on fire and the stove catches on fire and then they try to put it out with a little garden hose or like they blow on it or something and it just goes crazy. And
or the classic, it's a grease fire and they dump a bucket of water on it.
Yeah, that's the perfect one, where they're doing like deep frying something and man, they put water on it just goes all over. And
I mean, Josh, you seem like a really kind of well brought up guy. Do you ever get like a fire in a really, really bad neighborhood that's got really shitty people and just think, we'll just leave that one. Just let that one go.
No. Those are the best.
Let them in.
Those are the
let
best
them in. You just think we'll come late to this one. We'll come late.
No. We love our fires, so we try to get as much as we can.
Now, what? Just kind of curious. It's obviously a very noble career. What drew you to it? Was did you have family that were firefighters, or kind of what brought you to it?
Yep. So,
yeah.
So I was in the military for 4 years, got out, and I wasn't really too sure what I wanted to do. And my mom, my stepdad, my uncle, my grandfather, they were all in the fire service, and I just kind of looked at it and I was like, this actually seems pretty good. And I love helping people. And I was like, why haven't I never thought about this? So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to school for it and did it. And, about a year and a half later, and I mean, I absolutely love it. Like, I literally wake up every morning, shift days, like excited to go. It's awesome. I love it.
Now, what, give us a little bit. So that's your kind of background personally. What's your background with trading? How long have you been in it? Are you actively trading? Are you just learning, or what's your kind of history there? So,
okay. So, it started about 2 years ago. I was working, we were installing blinds and all around Central Florida. So we'd have to drive around and, I wasn't driving, I was a passenger. So I was just kind of thinking, man, like, how can I make more money? And so I'm like, let me, try some investing. So I think I downloaded a free app that lets you trade with the market with fake money. And I kind of like, that's when I looked at Bitcoin. I was buying Bitcoin at like $600. I didn't know what I was doing. So I'm like, I'm making some money here. It was fake money, obviously. But I mean, it was just moving crazy. And so I just started YouTubing some videos on like patterns and like candlestick charts and just like what to look for. Then after about 6 months of doing that, I kind of like found Tim Sykes, and with everybody else, everybody trying to sell something, and so you're always skeptical. And I was like, the stuff he's saying does make sense. Like I liked how he just kind of approaches everything and his rules and stuff like that. So I was like, let me just research him more and look into more videos and stuff. And that's when I found like StocksToTrade, and I found his program and stuff. And I mean, I really liked that. I liked the videos. And from there, I opened up an E-Trade account about a year ago, or a year and some change, maybe June-ish last year. I got SteadyTrade right away because I mean, I don't know too many too many platforms, but I mean, it sounded like StocksToTrade was perfect, and I absolutely love it.
Awesome.
Yeah, I don't think I'd ever go to another one, but I mean, I've been using them ever since, and so I'm down a couple thousand. I'm not the best. I noticed at first I was trading a lot, and I just wasn't. I was doing like dumb trades and stuff. And then after like a month or 2 months ago, I kind of took like $1,000 loss. A lot of my losses have been kind of like smallish. And that one kind of like shook me up, and I just kind of really like slowed down and like trying to do more research on these stocks and trying to do spreadsheets and like track my trades. I'm very bad at tracking my trades, and I know I need to go back and keep tracking them. And so I started a trading journal and all that. And I actually listen to you guys all the time on the podcast, and I mean, you guys repeat the same thing over and over and over again. And I just keep thinking to myself, I'm like, man, I don't need to be trading every day. And so now I'm just kind of in that mindset right now.
I did it. It's super true. It's super true. I mean, we kind of say the same thing in a different way over and over and over again.
Yep.
Because it's quite simple on the surface.
Reminds me of a recent drinking game.
Oh yeah, that was a good drinking game. It's funny after that came out with the little notes of what you always say. Now I hear it every time.
Oh no!
And so like I'm in my car like, and I'm like, drink.
Yeah, maybe we'll do like a pod 2 or something next year. We'll see. But I'm just curious. What you said, you took a lot of small losses, and then all of a sudden you took $1,000 loss. What was different? Why did you take the $1,000 loss?
For one, I was shorting. 2, I didn't cut my losses.
Yes.
It was on MNKD about a month ago or whatever. I kind of did like the high day. I think it was. I want to say it was in the morning or afternoon, and it, of course, I shorted it right up there at the high day, and if it broke it, of course, and it just kind of kept going. And I was like, no, I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna just hold it like, $3 is my level. It broke that, so I'm like, no, 320 is my whatever that next support or resistance line. And man, of course, I was like, I'm gonna see what it does the next day. I was like, I know it's gonna spike up like the first 2 minutes, and then hopefully it's gonna come down. And I mean, I ended up getting out with like $1,000 loss. Of course, it ended up dropping later that day. Like that was, I think, the second or third green day. Yeah. But I knew like when it squeezed up, after I got out, squeezed up even more, I wouldn't have been able to hold. So I would have probably took like a $2,000 loss. So sucks. But like now, of course, I would have made money if I would have held it. But I mean, you don't know, especially with everything being squeezed, nowadays.
Dude, shit goes to 100, eh? Like if you remember Elephant and stuff like that, and dries, shit goes to 100 sometimes. Like you're gonna lose everything. But the one thing about getting squeezed is if you're getting squeezed when it breaks high day, like one thing to remember is you're not the only one getting squeezed.
No, I know.
People are getting squeezed, and a lot of people are covering, and a lot of longs are buying because they know you get squeezed.
Yep. And
Tim
then,
Bones.
of course, it gapped up in the morning, so I was like, man. But I ended up getting out within 5 minutes, I believe, of the next day. So.
But Tim, this is your strategy, You look for where the shorts are going to get squeezed, and you go along.
Yeah, I mean, it's it's one of my favorite setups is just look for these obvious short setups. I'm doing air quotes on obvious, and just wait for them to break those key levels. Primarily, high a day is one of them. I mean, if everybody's short, it's the worst stock in the world. It hangs around all day, and then it breaks high a day. I mean, they don't all work, but those are the ones that you can get those quick spikes and quick big spikes, because that brings in, obviously buy-in brings more buying. And if you got the breakout buyers buying and you got the shorts buying to cover, that's a boatload of volume all coming in at that level.
Again, I remember when I was watching the level 2, man, it just looked like the bid was just so strong. And I was just like, why am I not? And I kept, and
all of a sudden it lights up like a freaking Christmas tree, and you're like, whoa!
Yeah, and it's just, man, and every time
does that when you love them.
Yeah, and whenever it dropped a little bit, I was like, oh, good, like this is it. And then all of a sudden it just kind of ripped back up, and I'm like, oh man, like, I kept asking myself, why am I in this?
I think we saw this with NBEV. NBEV always like it never had 2 consecutive green days ever. And then, so when it does break, everyone's short and it goes crazy. And that's why I thought EARS, I thought EARS could have ran today. I thought it was a nice multi-month breakout. It's trading $1 million plus pre-market. I thought if it's ever got a chance to run, it's going to run today. I didn't take it because it's just such a shit stock.
I've been out all morning. What did it end up
No,
doing?
it failed. I'm pretty sure it failed. I didn't see it on the top percent. But like EARS, like it's historically never puts 2 green days together. It's always got these big wicks on the daily. I was like, whoa, this is gapping up to a multi-month breakout, and it's like $1 million, $2 million pre. I'm like, whoa, this could go if it's ever going to go. It didn't go. But it's that kind of setup where it does.
Yeah, and that's the same thing with OGen. You know, it never has a history of spiking more than 2 days, and you know, I know when I believe it was OGen when Gritani was shorting it on Monday.
Conference,
yeah, and that one, I mean, squeezed. And, you know, as the history shows, it never really went past, you know, a day of, you know, a green day. And same thing with EARS. I was actually going to buy in today at like 88, like right when Mark Crook was buying in. That's when I was going to. But something was kind of telling me like, market's kind of not too good. And again, like I'm really being stingy with my trades. And I'm glad I didn't, especially when I saw it starting to break. I wanted to chase it up into the 90s, 91, 92s, 93s or whatever. And man, I'm glad I didn't because
I mean,
but it is holding up. So
I mean, there's just and that's a great attitude to have. I mean, so many people are like, I gotta trade this one. You know, there's never going to be another opportunity, and it's like just wait a couple hours. You know, and if it doesn't feel right, if the stars don't align, if you're just kind of iffy. I mean, there's going to be another one later in the day. Worst case scenario, tomorrow there's another one.
Yeah, and I've been definitely trying not to trade within the first 30 minutes of the market because again, it's so volatile. And I've been looking at your strategy, you know, with the high day breakout, you know, towards the end of the day. And I mean, EARS is holding up, so you never know. But again, there's millions of them. So if I miss it, I miss it. I'm fine with it.
Watch TLOY as well. I'm sure that's got a squeeze in it. It's edging step by step slowly. It's going to squeeze one day though.
Well, I love that one because Peter Thiel's behind that one too. But that we could probably do a whole episode on that.
But why do you want to be in the paper trading contest, Josh?
Man, I think it'd be interesting. I mean, why not? It's the first one ever. I know I'll get some great coaching with you guys. Doesn't matter who I'm with. I'll get some great coaching, and I think it'll be an awesome experience to do it. I mean, why not? I know I'm gonna win if I'm on it.
Yes.
And
nice. I like the confidence.
Yeah. I mean, it's all a process, and you know, I feel like, you know, slowly getting better day by day. You know, again with Huddy, like, you know, it took him like a couple years and stuff.
Years.
Yeah, you know, I'm starting to see these patterns, and yeah, I definitely think I could win this. I think this will definitely help me out a lot. And I mean, come on, it's going to be an awesome time, and I'm going to come with some jokes. I'm going to try to be entertaining. So why not?
But dude, you have to have.
I've been begging for a new co-host. So.
You have to have some good discipline if you're on
I think you secretly love him.
No, he does. No.
Like, I was watching the conference video last night, and I made lots of dad references. That was weird. But dude, if you're on my team, I'm not fighting any fires with you. You have to be disciplined.
You don't want to come in with me?
You have to be disciplined. I'm not fighting fires with you.
All right.
You're not a fireman in the stock market. We're not. This is no.
Trust me, I'm trying. I'm trying to stay disciplined. Like I'm starting to write down like my actual rules. And I've been again trying to follow, man. If it doesn't look like it's the way I want it to, like as Tim says, man, if it's not going the way that you want it to, just get out.
Dude, Eric Russell interview was on the other day, and I was chatting to him recently, and he was like, a lot of people think I'm just this overnight success. I've been trading 6 years. A lot of people are just like, oh, I'm this overnight success. He's like, yeah, I'm a 6-year overnight success. Please, like, if this gets aired as part of the podcast, please remember, a lot of successful people have took 2, 3, 4, 5 years to get this, but you only see them when they make.
Yeah, exactly. And I've only been in it for a year and some change, so I know it's a process, and I'm not going to give up.
Yeah, first thing Tim Bourne said to us on Skype, his very first words were, "Don't quit, whatever you do. Just don't quit.
Don't quit."
Just don't quit. You're a bit of a
Steven,
maniac.
don't quit, man. It's okay.
Just don't quit. Don't quit.
All right, guys. Well, it's time to quit.
Yep. That was great. Yeah.
Hi, this is Aaron, aka Double A Ron from New York City, and I like to go outside and find a stray dog, preferably an aggressive breed like a pit bull or a Rottweiler. Then I get real close, stare it down eye to eye until it starts to chase me. Then I run. That's right, I run while listening to Steven and Tim on the SteadyTrade podcast. You can register to win real actual prizes at their website, SteadyTrade.com. And if you really like what you hear, give the podcast a 5-star rating and write a glowing review on iTunes. I did, and this is how we say goodbye in New York City.